Welcome to the Franchise Fit, where we explore real stories behind franchise ownership, not to convince you that franchising is right for you, but really to help you understand better what the opportunities are that are available to you and what might be a good fit or not a good fit for your goals, your lifestyle, and what you're trying to build for your future. Today, we're going to discuss a franchise that is built around solving one of today's biggest challenges for working families, and that's reliable, flexible childcare. Joining me today is Emily Ringley. She is the franchise development representative for Oliver's Nannies. Emily, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Sandy. I really appreciate everything that you're doing to help find great franchise concepts for people that may or may not be looking. So glad to be here.
Yes, awesome. What I love about Oliver's Nannies is that unlike many franchises that I've researched and presented to my clients, Oliver's Nannies is solving for a real problem that no other concepts I've seen are addressing. So that makes Oliver's so unique for me. Let's just start with the reason why the business exists. Can you talk to us about the very beginning and how did the founder, Kathy Livingston, come to create Oliver's Nannies based on her own experiences?
Sandy, she realized that because she couldn't find childcare herself. She was talking to her friends and neighbors. She was trying to get into daycares. There was no daycares available for over 6 months. She couldn't find anyone on Facebook. Care.com wasn't there. So she realized that there was a big need for families. And so she created the concept out of her experience with the senior care franchise, being similar, and started a flagship location in Morristown, New Jersey, and it blew up. She started this in 2018. It quickly became the premier childcare option in the town. And I think that business built up over a couple years. And in 2023, Kathy decided to take the leap into franchising because so many people across the country, friends and families of clients within the flagship location were saying, my friend needs this here. I've moved and I need this in my town now. Mm-hmm. So I know we'll certainly talk more about the need and the why, but we're glad. I know the parents are glad that it exists today.
Yeah, well, actually, we're going to just jump right into the need and the why, because one of the things as I was researching Oliver's Nannies is the term childcare deserts. So for anybody who's not familiar with what that is, can you explain what a childcare desert is?
Sure. Childcare desert is essentially where there's more children than daycare or childcare options. I know COVID really hurt daycares and, childcare outside of homes. So most parents are experiencing at least a 6-month wait list. I know myself, I was on a wait list for over a year for my first son. So you have they have no other option than to find in-home childcare. But then that lends itself to a whole nother problem around finding the right people that, are background check trained, safe and reliable, but then also not even thinking about, are they a good fit for your home? Are they a good fit for your family from a personality perspective and the way that they care for their children or, lean with their care style?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk then about how Oliver's Nannies delivers on providing nannies for families in need. So the model itself, there's daycare centers, there's independent nannies or websites where the families can go to find caregivers, as you said, for seniors. Where does Oliver's fit within that whole landscape?
Yeah. So I guess delivering the care to the families. So within the Oliver's Nannies franchise, within a location, the owner has a team, an office team that's helping recruit and hire and onboard nannies. So they're always recruiting, always having a pipeline of great nannies. And this staff member is trained on where to find great nannies, how to onboard them, how to interview them to make sure they fit the standard of care. So every nanny is going to be background checked. They have 2 strong references. They have phone screens, in-person interviews, and they go through an orientation so that they're trained on, diaper care, car seat safety, how to food safety, things like that most of our nannies are already trained on, but it's a great refresher. And then, with the constant recruitment happening, there's always nannies that are available to fit a family's needs. So, there's someone in Oliver's Nannies office, which could be an employee or it could be the franchisee, and they are working with the families to understand really what their needs are. In every family is going to need something different. So it's someone that's really understanding and can critically think and can provide a solution that fits for that family. And then communicating with the office employee around, here's this case, here's this family, here's what they need, what nannies could be a good fit for this, not only from a scheduling and maybe skill set perspective, but what's a good match for them from a personality perspective. We have and I think something that we don't see in childcare these days is matching nannies with the family based off of the way that they naturally lean in childcare. So we have a proprietary piece of our business called Olico, and nannies kind of fits, or any person fits within really 3 types of care, like a nurturer, an engager, or a leader. Families are going to want one in particular. So, you're talking to that family to understand how they want things led in their home. And then the nannies, you can kind of pull out what type they are. So it's really matching that. And not only does that make the client really happy because they know that the way their child is being cared for is happening, but also it makes the nanny's job a lot easier. It's a lot more genuine to them. So they're a lot happier in their role because if they're a nurturer, that means they typically love really bitty babies and they're great with tummy times and reading books. They're happy because probably they're matched with an infant.
So let's talk about helping people to understand what the difference is for them. Who tends to be a great fit and thrive with Oliver's Nannies?
As a franchise owner, someone that's a great fit is probably looking for a couple different drivers. They could be looking for a lifestyle driver. Maybe they want to create an asset. They want to create a business for themselves. They could be looking for ways to serve the community. Looking to maybe get out of an environment where they feel like they're not they want to make a difference. A lot of our candidates that I'm working with right now, they feel like they're just not making a difference in their corporate environment. And really it's a mix of kind of all of those drivers. And we really encourage franchisees and candidates when we're talking with them is understanding their why. Why do they want to build this business? And, we can kind of personalize the approach and personalize the business for them to fit the driver that they're aiming for. So if it's a lifestyle, a lot of our franchisees have experienced the struggles of childcare themselves. So they understand the need and they want to be able to own a business and work for themselves, while also being a caretaker for their family and, do the job while the kids are in school. So I think that's a great driver. A lot of our franchisees, I hear the term Main Street economy. They know the families that they are helping. They know all of the nannies within the system. They really love that they are making a difference within a zip code. They know who they're helping. And I think, asset creation and an ROI is always important, but I think understanding that, again, the why behind that. So yeah.
Definitely very hands-on owner operator, very nurturing and caring. And so caring even for the caregivers that are part of the team, it sounds is equally as important as caring for the families that come to you in need.
Exactly. Yeah. Caring about creating jobs and creating a level of professionalism around nannies that hasn't really existed right now. So I think that that is a part of our model that is a lot of times looked over, is what we are providing for nannies is a consistent place for them to work. While typically nannies off the books, they're kind of at the whim of the family and could be always waiting for their next job, or could be losing their job at any time if the family's needs are changing. But with Oliver's Nannies, you're creating a safe place for that childcare provider to land. You're giving them the HR, you're giving them the benefits. They're W-2 paid hourly employees. They get paid time off, but they're also getting support. And, nannies are being managed by Oliver's Nannies, not exactly the families. So they have an advocate in the workplace as well.
Nice. And for our viewers that might be thinking that they have to have a background in childcare or education, is that true?
No, definitely not. We have a good amount of franchisees that maybe don't have children, but they understand the need for it. They see the need for childcare. Or we have franchisees that add this in their portfolio that have other franchise concepts, but again, just kind of see the need for it. I don't think we have like kind of one solid background that lends itself really well. We want to really understand what their skills are, what do you want to do day to day, and kind of piece it together to see if it's a good fit.
Okay. If somebody were to ask, what type of a business am I really buying? How would you describe it? Is it childcare, staffing, recruiting? What type of a business?
Great question. Childcare staffing.
Okay.
It is a staffing business. Like, there's a high level of customer service and care that's involved because it is a childcare, but I would say childcare staffing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So what is a day in the life like for an owner?
That's a great question. And I love this because it could look different for everybody. As I've mentioned previously, every owner has a different why, and we want this business, we want them to be happy in their investment every day. So we know everything that needs to happen in an office day to day, week to week, month to month. So here's what needs to happen in the office. What do you like to do? How do you want to spend your day? Is it with recruiting? Is it understanding the KPIs and strategy? Is it HR and payroll? Or is it marketing to families? Is it doing the care plans? Is it interviewing nannies? There's a good amount of work that needs to be done day to day, but let's make sure it works for the owner. And then we're going to help you figure out what you need to hire for. Now, traditionally in a role, there's two people at least in the working environment. In the office, it's the owner and then their full-time manager. And as the business grows, that owner can step out, and then there's two full-time people. And typically one of them is family facing, taking on new client calls, doing their care plans, marketing for new families. And then the other person is really focused on the nanny recruitment and the care and support for the nannies. And then they work together to fill the cases so the business can keep running well without you.
Let's switch gears just a bit. So Oliver's Nannies is a relatively young franchise. So that creates a lot of opportunity for you, but it also creates a lot of questions for prospective owners that may be risk averse with an emergent brand. So talk to our viewers about the advantages of joining an emerging brand rather than one that already has hundreds of locations.
Yeah, I love this question. I've worked with a handful of different brands at different sizes and ages, and I love this size company. We have about 15, as of April 6, 2026, we have 15 open locations, with about 5 more in the process of opening. So we are large enough where we are proven concepts. What is working, we know what's working well, and we've been franchising since 2023. So what we know now what is a requirement and what is a best practice. So I think the benefit right now is it's small. We're small enough where you get to be a pioneer in your market and offer something that isn't there yet. It's not like you're offering another hamburger place, another place to work out, another place to get fried chicken, whatever it is. You're offering something brand new that's been redone. Like you're offering a different type of childcare solution. So I think that's really exciting. And I think that we also, since we're young, our franchisees are getting a lot of hands-on support. They are, a lot of time, they're not all first-time business owners, but many of them are. And I think this is something that really connected with them, is they get to work with our founder. They're working with our head of brand, our director of brand, with support, someone that's been with the company since day one, someone that's done every single part of the job. So it's easy to pick up the phone and talk to the person at the top. And that doesn't always happen. Like you can't always just call the founder and get support. And, although as we grow, one day that will change, but I think there's a lot of benefit to being kind of one of the first ones. There's a lot of white space out there. There's a lot of opportunity. And I think franchisors, and this is me speaking from brands that I've worked with, those first franchisees, I think, see a lot of value in being one of the first. You get to make a big impact on the system.
Awesome. I'm excited for you. I think that this brand is an excellent brand. I'm really excited to see you guys grow. I'd like to finish this episode where I think every franchise conversation that I have should end not with should someone buy this franchise, but rather what should someone think about when considering if Oliver's Nannies is right for them?
Yeah, I think that I love that too. And I think we really lean into that as well. But it's just why do you want to own your own business? And kind of going back to what we said earlier, is there's a couple different pillars around that. Like for us, it's lifestyle, community, professional development. Like what is your why? Like, why do you want a business? What are you wanting to get out of it? And then seeing, is Oliver's Nannies a good fit for that? When we work with consultants like yourself, we have the same goal as you. We want people to land where they're meant to be. I want people to find a concept that they're going to thrive in and be happy in. And I think kind of always going back to what do you want out of this, and finding the brand that matches, because there's a lot of great brands out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Emily, thank you so much for sharing not only the story behind Oliver's Nannies, but also what it truly looks like to own and build this kind of a business. And thank you for everyone that's watching this episode of The Franchise Fit, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thanks.